got a REMCO Larry Zbyszko figure. Why am I doing a video on a REMCO Larry Zbyszko figure? Because this is the only wrestling figure I still own. It was him and Ric Flair, and I know I had the REMCO AWA ring, and that's all I really collected, because then I moved on to the LJN bendy wrestling figures. I didn't really like the big, LJN figures. Kind of like WWF better than AWA, even though I liked AWA and their shitty show from the Showboat Casino. Larry Zbyszko was, I think, the champ at the time when I was watching. Okay wrestler. Had a classic feud with Bruno Sammartino. Watched that on the network, probably. But I don't have the Ric Flair figure. I don't know why the hell I saved Larry Zbyszko. And he's here in my adult collection and looking freaking mint condition, not a paint chip on him. He's missing his coat though. But yeah, look at that. Totally mint. It means I didn't really play with him because he's, well, Larry Zbyszko. And I didn't keep Ric Flair, who's a freaking legend. Here's the real point of this video. It looks like a He-Man figure. REMCO was just making knockoff He-Man figures. And alright, we'll make wrestlers and we'll just use whatever He-Man knockoff figure we had and put vaguely, actually I think it was a good sculpt of Larry Zbyszko's head. Looks like him. Good likeness. But I say after 30-something years later, he's held up a lot better than my He-Man figures. He didn't have like rubber bands in here to hold them together, and I watched that guy Toy Polloy who, does He-Man repairs and stuff like that, all sorts of action figures. Yeah, that was a pain in the butt. I managed to get this He-Man together, but Faker, we ain't having it. But here's another REMCO figure. They just put out like endless figures, lines of action figures using the same body. Look, that's the same torso. Same 6-pack, 8-pack of abs. And he's held up pretty damn good too. He's a little dirty. Wash his head, but how tight his joints are. REMCO, not as, I would have said, as quality a toy maker as probably Mattel, but Jesus. Mint. Freaking mess. Mint. Friggin' mess. Leg constructor. It's not a rubber band, but it's like some sort of peg joint. Far superior than this moldy old, dried out rubber band type thing that doesn't last 40 years. No, it doesn't, people. Probably gave out after 30. Did they know I'd still be playing with this today? Think ahead, Mattel. Come on. Mattel actually makes toys for kids anymore with that Matty Collector stuff. It's for, 40-year-old man children such as myself. Also, I did that toy repair, and yeah, his legs are together, but just don't feel mint. And this was my He-Man. You can pick up He-Man's dime a dozen. There was millions of them. Every kid had He-Man. But this was my He-Man. And yeah, I did surgery on him to put him back together, but I'll always know I was trying to do that to him on the inside. Repair is better than nothing, but just don't feel solid as Larry. What do I do with a Larry Zbyszko figure in my adult collection when I have no other wrestler figures? You could form a tag team with One-Eyed Pirate and fight He-Man. Uh-oh, I think Hordak's gonna turn face. You dickhead. You turned on Bruno Sammartino. He was your mentor. Now I'm gonna crush you. In hell, in a cell. The beat down. Figure 4. Oh no, Hordak's gonna turn it. Ah, reverse pressure. No, no, no. Ugh. Ooh. Hook the leg. 1, 2, 3. Larry Legend, WWE Hall of Famer, AWA champion, and new heavyweight champion of the Masters of the Universe. Yeah. Alright, it's about a week after I made that video, and I was editing it together, and I was like, you know what? I wasn't satisfied with just owning a Larry Zbyszko figure, so I went to Rhode Island, and I went to the Toy Vault, and guess what they had? Bam! Ric Flair, my 2-pack is complete. You shut up there, fat boy! Woo! He's not quite as mint. He's got a little bit of paint chips, and his little RF got rubbed off. It was RF printed on there, and he doesn't have his fur coat or his his robe with the furry thing on top. But now I got my tag team back together. It was a crime that I lost this figure because he is one of my favorite all-time wrestlers, and to have just Larry Zbyszko, the only wrestling figure to still own is Larry Zbyszko. No, we had to go back to the top. We had to get Ric Flair. Let me say, far more diesel than he ever was in real life. I mean, Jesus. But yeah, awesome. Gotta have them both. Both wearing same non-wrestling boots. Left over from, I guess they started off with the Warlord figures. Or the Pirate figures. Whatever they were doing. But REMCO, solid, look. No loose joints, nothing. REMCO, very underrated. I think I gotta find me some more old school REMCO figures. I'll say this, he's just posable enough to style and profile. Woo! I don't know if I feel the urge to pick up a Jerry Blackwell figure, but I know they have the Road Warriors, and I think Scott Hall costs a lot of money because he's kind of rare. But I've seen the Road Warriors figures like everywhere, but now I'm like motivated to pick them up. Fill out my collection a little bit. No, I don't need all of them. I just need like maybe another tag team's worth. Definitely want that Warlord figure. I saw that the store for like $20. I might pick that up. I'm gonna take your girlfriend. Woo! And yet again, I'm sorry. I don't think there was any point to that video at all. Much like most of mine, but